Oklahoma gubernatorial candidate and 10-year veteran SWAT team member Mark Sherwood speaks out on effective school safety plans to stop school shootings. One America's Caitlin Sinclair has more.
Dr. Mark Sherwood joins us to discuss his three-point school safety plan. So Mark, your plan includes number one, single secure entrances into these schools. Number two, armed security. And number three, safety training for teachers and all school staff. So, of course, the ongoing violence and tragedies in our schools is what prompted this plan. But tell us, how did you specifically come up with these points?
All right. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I really appreciate this. When you talk about school safety, I learned a powerful lesson visiting the country of Israel. Many, many years ago, I saw an armed guard in front of school and with a lot of fence and a lot of razor wire. And I inquired as to what was going on. Is this a prisoner of school? I made some kind of crack like that. I was informed clearly that, and I was in law enforcement at the time, that these people behind this fence are our future leaders. This is our future of our country, and no one is going to get in here to hurt these kids. Looking back on that, I had no idea, how that would affect me today. But with all the tragedies we've got going on, it's clear to me that we have to protect our kids above all else.
So, of course, Doctor, you come to us as a retired SWAT officer with the Tulsa, Oklahoma Police Department. Now, there have been plenty of questions surrounding how officers responded during this recent mass shooting in Uvalde, Texas. What has the support been like towards your proposal of placing armed guards in front of schools?
Well, a lot. Obviously, there's been a lot of people reach out because it's innovative, it's bold, and it meets the issue head on. Look, it takes extreme measures and extreme times, and we're all walking around with our head in the sand if we don't recognize the extreme times in which we live. And I've heard concerns about the optics of this. Does this look like a prison or is it like a school? But to me, I would rather have a place like this where our students are protected, where a parent can drop the kids off at school knowing that full well I can return and Johnny's going to go back in my car with me, or Johnny's going to get on the bus and come home. And I'm relying on my police experience in dealing with these mass shooters as I've observed and as studied and compared. They're all looking for the path of least resistance because they're absolute cowards. And we need to make sure that we give them the path of the greatest resistance. And that path is going to be one that they're not going to go down because the coward won't take on something that has more force.
Now, Dr. Reed just mentioned your experience with law enforcement, but you also have experience on the medical side, of course. And you seem, at least to your supporters, you seem to understand the need for identifying and solving these mental health issues that are on the rise in our nation. So as a physician, how would you say we can deal with these killers before it gets to this devastating point when they're all suffering, it seems like, with mental health issues?
Well, I understand mental health from the criminal element and also the medical element. So that gives us a unique, qualified experience. And when you look at the mental health issue, it really is an absence of love within the life. We have removed God from schools. We've removed God from government. We've removed God from medicine. We've removed God from many churches, and we've removed God from our country. And this is what we get. You bring God out, you bring the moral compass, the moral guide out, and you get deterioration of this moral compass within. And so it's going to take an all-out comprehensive approach dealing with every one of these areas. I would have preferred the legislatures got together, and even if they're going to do bipartisan things, and I'm serious about this, why don't you put the 10 Commandments in front of schools? Why don't you put "On God We Trust" on top of every school? And why don't you, in further that, ensure that our students rise every day, place their hand over their chest, and pledge allegiance to this wonderful flag we have that gives us the idea of one nation under God that's truly indivisible.
Well, like you've said, Doctor, these answers are more comprehensive than we think. So thank you for walking us through.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.